Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar in the series of 3D Experience Enterprise Collaboration Start Small, Start Now. I waited until a few more participants were joining. My name is Maarten Husselman, and I work as a solution architect with Kionis in business consulting, pre-sales, and implementation domain for the 3D Experience platform within the Benelux. Today's webinar is the third one in the row of a series that started with the one called Home Office and Enterprise Collaboration as an introduction to the platform. Last week, the session was about the integration of file-based CAD with the platform. You could have seen CATIA V5 as well as SolidWorks integration, or in more general, any CAD integration with the 3D Experience platform. Today's session will be about project and program management, and next week, May 20th, will be about design and engineering with a focus on enterprise change management and the process of modifications. As said, welcome in today's session about the role of project manager dealing with platform integrated project and program management. During this webinar that will take, I think, about 50 minutes, I will tell you a bit more about the context of the 3D Experience platform as being a short overview of also the previous sessions. The second topic, I will speak about the role of collaboration and project management. And before showing the platform, I will speak about the more in-depth working area of the project manager. Afterwards, I will show the application during a 15 to 20 minutes live demonstration or overrun, and I will finish with our approach to start with and implement project management. At the end, there will be time for you for some questions and answers. In the GoToWebinar menu, you will see a section where you can raise the questions, and I will answer them at the end. Context and overview of the 3D Experience platform. So what is it, what we're speaking about, and what are the capabilities? Even though we have loosening restrictions on a corona crisis, we still are in a slightly different way of working that started turning our kitchen table into work offices, starting working from home. What we had to do was maintain doing our work, meet our colleagues, run our projects, and have review meetings and perform design works. That's the scope of even actually these webinars, because all what we have to do had to be done in a secured environment, secured connections, and access to global or enterprise data stored everywhere. And it should have been in a controlled environment, and not only controlled by secured connections, but also to who could allow access to data. Do I have the latest revisions of my data, etc. So that's the scope, actually being able to work from anywhere, continuing your normal activities. To manage this, in general, you need a platform which has multiple disciplinary connections where you can collaborate, to share the information, to access directly the information, and to perform the digital continuity of your product development from the specifications, where connecting with your customers, throughout finally manufacturing. So dealing with your supplier, the business stakeholders, so not only your peer engineers or project managers, but also manufacturing activities and the technical communities within the company, being the design engineers, the manufacturing. And that all in a spider of communication, sharing information about documents, emailing, normally also picking up the phone, sharing spreadsheets. That needs to be grouped together for a proper direct delay-free access. Only in that manner, you don't need to be at the same place to make work still successful. If we then go over the 3D experience, you log in to the system and you will have applied a set of roles. You will see them on the left, and minimum roles would be collaborative business industry innovator to access the platform, but it can be extended with more specific roles like in mechanical design domain, structural engineering, quality management, but also project management. Speaking about the role project manager, as soon as I've got that one, I get the access to several roles, a set of roles that give me the ability to work together anyhow on the platform, but also some more specific roles or apps that give me the access for project management capabilities. And one of those apps is the project management app. And as soon as I activate that one, I'll get access to web-based functionality of project management with their dashboarding, but also overview of schedules in Gantt charts or structured list. This is what we will speak about later in more detail. As I already mentioned, with the platform, you do need global access. A platform, you need to collaborate. But what does that mean? Within 3D Experience, we do have a central location where we can store and organize, and with organize I mean actually structuring and share our data, meanwhile keeping full track of changes and approvals. This works fully web-based, and whether it is Office data like Microsoft Word or images, but it even can also be CAD data, CATIA V5, 3D Experience CATIA, but also non-Dassault system CAD data. All this data, I spoke about it should be structured, and we can organize that one within projects, but also relate them to tasks and perform validation of the documents via workflows to have other people participating in the document creation. On top of basic access of storing documents, it's a platform that we can split in at least what I would say 3 levels. As basic for every organization, we've got the team collaboration. We have the activity of tasks, of workflows, and even basic issue management. Issues that can come from internal or even external from customers. As an extension on team collaboration, we have project collaboration, where you would enter project and program management as an extension on top of individual assigned tasks. For normal users, the tasks will still appear in the My Task list, but from a project manager, you have an overview of tasks in relation to each other. And where I said with team collaboration that you already have issue management, the third extension would be product collaboration, where you not only act on issues, but put issues in relation with a full change management process, interacting over the different companies to be able to resolve issues. And this is a topic for next week's webinar when we go into design and engineering with change management. As mentioned before, all this data management will be in a project environment. And that's on top of just collaboration tasks, where we now can support detailed planning and task assignments, as well as providing dashboards over the different views. And that is data-driven information. So we're not looking into files, but everything we have, whether it's a dashboard overview, whether it's a phase gate view, or a total APQP project schedule, it's all directly in the system. As mentioned, APQP already, project management will support different processes, whether it's regular design process or quality processes, it does actually not matter. From setting up, we'll have in project management the execution, and the execution leads to the different people assigned to tasks, and they will get their tasks available in structured overviews, tasks that are already in work, and for each task they can then apply the activities. We'll show this one later with the demonstration. The advantage is, because everything is in the system, it will act full transparently for everyone, not only the project manager, but also all participants. How should I see this in the total process of a company? Implementing this, we would start first to secure the digital continuity with what we had: basic platform access, workflow activities, and CAD data management, with the option on top, project and program management. Extending activities on the platform will not only be on an engineering department, it will continue over other departments, where you introduce requirement management, bill of material management, and changes, which we speak about next week. But additional growth phases in a roadmap on how to implement and go from just CAD data management to a total business process. You will extend sales departments, costing, also ERP integrations, and you take also other departments like process planning, quality, and up to the end, including assembly and production, and not mentioned here as a next growth step, but also service and order management. Having everything in one system will secure a digital continuity, which started either from engineering or even upfront engineering up till service departments. The step, what we're now speaking about here, and which could be after data management, the first simple growth step would be program and project management. A bit more about the project manager and the enterprise collaboration. If we focus on project management, to manage the project, we actually see it will not be a time spot activity. It's actually an activity going over the total development process. It starts from the beginning, where you have your requirement management going into functional logical, actually where the physical design starts, being the product design, up to manufacturing and potentially the execution. Project management belongs to what we say the governance layer, which acts over all activities during the total process. So it's part of the overall governance. More in detail, we recognize actually 4 categories within project management. First one is from a project organization where you have your project initialization, and that's defining templates like the APQP template. You define project setup and you have your initial project initialization, all based on standards that have been prepared upfront. As soon as a project then comes, we'll have the step what I call the project planning. Based on the templates, you adjust your work breakdown structure, you assign tasks to people, have your definitions on phase gates, and you set up your budget and benefits. Having set up the project, we'll go over into project execution mode, and that's more important, that you have your resources planned, you do your time and task management, but also have your KPIs viewed. Am I on track? And where do I have to adjust? At the end, you've got the project performance and control. On that level, you go over your reporting program, project reporting, your cost tracking, but also the quality deliverables. Actually, it's measuring what did I plan and what are the actuals, all based directly on system available data without the need to collect it manually. A bit more in detail, we have the different, call it, departments acting on project management. First, we have the project management office actually being ahead of everything, creating the project templates, creating projects, perform some resource allocations and modify projects, but actually as a upfront activity. From the sales, they work with the projects with the capability of issue creation, completing and assigning tasks, and this is in the RFQ part, or request for proposals phase of the project, to have sales interacting. When coming to engineering, they deal in the project with creation of the documents, having them approved, doing the reviews, but also create, where needed, project risks and have an overview of the project status. Project management, it's mentioned here as the last one, but again, it's the overall view, having the capabilities on dashboards and task reviews, but also on what are impacts on schedules based on delays, and have a dynamic monitoring of the project. As said, it will not be a file that has to be worked through, it is directly visible. So in a more detail and a functional view, there are 8 subjects that I will touch, and actually all those subjects are integrated within the platform within project management. As already mentioned a few times, I'll start with standards, because without defining the standards, every project will be a nightmare starting from scratch. So on the standard side, we have the capability of defining templates that, so in case a project needs to be created, it will be based on a template. What will be put in? Of course, the setup of phases and gates, already predefined folder structures to organize documents, resource planning, which is actually the request that, depending a kind of project, you could say I always need a specific set of people, and you can have a definition upfront about budget templates. Are all those things mandatory? No. The advantage is only relevant depending the kind of information you want to manage within the project. But gates and templates and tasks in combination with folder templates, that's the minimum to make a template beneficial towards compared starting from scratch. In the moment you have the templates, you can run project execution. That's actually where you work from a master project schedule into individual activities, where you assign the resources to a task that will be performed. You have the access to secured folders, because you restrict access for only those people who deal with the project, and you manage within the project the issues and the risks, and as well as an extension, the capabilities to manage meetings and decisions. Speaking about resources, you have the additional option to do resource planning. That's not the same as allocating a person to a task, but it's an upfront request that you define within the project. I need a specific amount of people, and you can validate whether your assigned persons or resources in combination with the requested will still be available, or that you reached the capacities of your departments and have to do a different kind of project scheduling. So it's a bit analyzing the workload, not only from one project view, but overall projects running, and therefore also all defined in the system. During the normal work, you can have, of course, your task completion management, but you also have a more high level view on the project progress. On those topics, the easy one is the phase gate management. That's where you start to see what are the options going from one design phase or one phase within my project to the next one, where you have your gates in between with the allowance to see to assign the deliverables and decisions relevant to go to the next phase in the project. With project analytics, you have overall graphic dashboards analyzing all your projects in a more detailed way. Other extensions that are only relevant if you do go into detailed project management is that you go over your task and time management. You have the capability seeing of already people being overloaded in your project, because like seen on the images, you have people assigned to tasks, and if they are assigned to multiple tasks at the same time, there will be on the dashboard check the overload. with time management, you also have the ability that people will book their times against the project, giving you a good overview from expected workload on a task and to performed timings. So you have a real expenditure on the project and not only a estimated expenditure. Financials point. This is the one where we can put up a structure of cost, having a budget against the project and see how that budget has been spent. That's from a cost perspective. You also can define benefits on it. So actually what the project is expected to deliver you. And then coming from managing the project with its tasks, time, deliverables, there's actually a point that should be shown as well, and that's the relation to the product from the project. So product portfolio planning, because in general, it's the product that we will manage with several projects. So the product will have the configurations. There will be a governing project towards the product. And we have all linked data related to the product. So project management is therefore not the overview anymore, but it's the product and potentially the portfolio planning that makes that what we are producing. And project management is just the governance of that everything will be done or potentially done in the right timing. This is project manager scope, but we don't have all or not all project managers. There are also project team members. And what they will see is just a subset of the project manager's information. If you see on the top left view, you have a list of tasks that have been assigned. You can apply the completeness to it, and you can link from here to the specific project it is in. While seeing the project, you have the access to the folders. If you want, you can see as well the project structure. The only thing is that you can't manage the total project, only tasks, and you have the ability to create some subtasks to split up your own work, but you're not managing everyone else's tasks. From a dashboard point of view, you also can see your tasks and have a quick direct access to who is assigned to put your attachments and deliverables to it, and also to move the completeness of your task. And finally, because you are a project member, you are expected to fill in the timesheet, so that's a capability that you will have as well as project team member. Coming from this theoretical part, I would like to go over to about a small 20 minutes demonstration to give an overview of project management in the cloud. So, project manager. First, we connect from a web page to the system and log in as project manager. And I've got a landing on my dashboard where I will see my projects, but also the access to all my roles that are assigned, where project manager is one of them. Seeing on project management, I've got the different applications, my projects, Project Gantt, but also the project management app that will bring me to the specific functionality. The dashboard that I have here will show me all projects that I'm assigned to or that I'm owned. The second dashboard gives me the ability to show on a specific project the Gantt view, having all detailed tasks and the ability to dynamically modify the view. I also can highlight in this one critical paths, so I've got a quick overview of all information, and I can filter it by week, month, but also have planned and actual schedules. This gives me a very quick overview of, in this case, one of the projects. Going to project management, I have the ability to go over more projects than just the ones I'm assigned to. And first I have a notion on programs for which I see different programs. A program will be actually a group of projects with a specific usage. In this case, request for proposals, where I grouped all proposal projects together. I've got pending deliverables, pending tasks and issues from all proposal projects, and also the efforts spent on the different proposal projects. Going into one of them, I get my default dashboard. So this is just the RFP for one of the projects. And I see the project status, overview of tasks and deliverables, but also the Gantt chart and a burn down rate. This means that this project is relative good on track. Going on to the schedules, the Gantt chart, actually the same one I just shown on the dashboard, will give me the overview of all tasks. And I have a phase gate view where I see actually the split up of the different phases within my request for proposal. And for each gate, I have different actions, meetings, checklist, deliverables. In this case, the customer request document. And while it's linked to the gate, I have directly access to the document, and I don't need to search for it in whatever folder structure. Also, as mentioned, a capability of checklists. Within a gate, you can define a checklist with questions that can be answered, so you have a response, whether they either fulfilled or what decision has been made. If you have this predefined, it will give you a proper overview in a constant way of what you need for RFP processes. And also the proposal or whatever document is as a deliverable of specific phase can be attached to the gate as a kind of a gate closing document. The other documents and all documents can be structured within bookmark folders. We've got here a requirement document, which is actually a structural breakdown of the Word document into individual requirement objects using the capabilities of requirement management. So both can be linked together to give everyone the same view on information and where it is expected. Each folder, one or more documents with specific usage. If we then go to the people that will be assigned, who will be working on the project, and that are the people assigned that can be assigned to the different tasks. From a schedule view, we have the overall activity, we see the completeness, we see the deliverables, again, the duration, but also in this case 6 deliverables where you have access to 3. If you want to have a full overview of the deliverables, in this case selected from a project level, I have the capability of a deliverable report view, and you see the document with the revisions, the state, the completeness of the task, and from here you can directly access every document which is delivered to the tasks. Back to program level, this was RFP program, but you can have the same actually for internal or external audits, having structures defined in detail for which tasks are needed to perform or prepare your audit. And as said, it's actually looking equal or has an equal capability using project management. The other one would be for more the commercial projects, where in this case is just a grouping of work package for a specific customer. The topic, we said we should start with standards. You can define multiple templates, in this case APQP template, where you predefine all tasks and activities that are in a project. You can have it structured, you can add already bookmark structures and have the capability of adding questions to make projects a bit more specific during the creation from a template. Entering one of those commercial projects would show kind of the same process as we had with the RFP, having again the different overviews. The only thing is you saw the burn down sheet, not everything burned down, but also managing within the project the risk, opportunities, and issues, which are actually parts of the project execution. Budget manage and assessments, where you can rate the quality of your project at specific moments. Going back to the schedule, if I unfold it, we'll see a lot of detailed tasks. And this is a manufacturing project where we have the customer requirements in it, some documents, but also the 3D data and the manufacturing bill of materials, all linked as a deliverable, so you don't have to look and search for it, you'll just have it available. From the schedule view, I've got different views to it, which are also allocation and assignment views. The assignment is that I can put people to a task, whether they're completed or not. And with the allocation, I determine the percentage that a person is working on a task. So I can have two people working on the same task, both 50%. And from the efforts view, I will then have the ability actually to the planned timings, so the expected efforts, but also managed based with the weekly details from the timesheet what the actual expenditure is. As shown with the RFP, of course, here as well, I can show a deliverables report, and whether it's not all reports, but also CAT data, it will just be listed. And within the bookmarks, a more browsable, structured organization, which you normally would have on a server share. Members assigned, and what is here, they've got you specify the access, but you also have the project roles defined. Here you deal actually with the real business roles in the company, and that has a direct relation then with the resource plan, because you specify here which kind of skills you would need. You request different resource managers. Phase gate views will be the same, different phases, different gates by naming, but from capabilities identical. And in the Gantt chart, which is a more user-friendly view, you have the abilities also to assign SNUs to modify the structure and to have a direct view of person's allocation. And it differs per person whether the scheduled view or the Gantt chart is the one to be used. At the end, it will result in the same database stored information and directly updated. So one step further is now going to resource management. What I can have as a project manager is performing multiple requests, and what I have here is the overview of the request for the different skills over the years, where I see in full FTE the assignments or the requests. And from the reporting capabilities, I can specify over a specific period in time, over all projects that are there, what are the requests or in this case the assignments, and in the next view what are the resource demands. Having those overviews in the chart, I have a quick capability of seeing whether my capacity is still sufficient or that I'm overloaded and that I might have to reschedule my project or hire additional people. Except from the program option to view all projects, I've got a project summary report, which is more for a site manager who has from a central point the overview of all pending tasks, all pending deliverables, and can access and filter from a summary report without the need to create programs. Some details from the business status we showed before. We have risk and issue management, starting with the risks, which are project risks and not product related risk. We can define several using the RPN value, risk probability, and it's a calculation to get a ranking. And of course, it can change, so I can create a new RPN value, so reducing the probability or the impact of the risk, and therefore I can have mitigations against it to lower the RPN number. Issues will be the same. I can create issues against the project where I can put assignees to the risk, and that will provide an additional task to solve the risk. So that's not a scheduled task, but it's still an activity that people can be assigned to. As said before, we have the capability of financials, where I can create a budget with several cost topics against it. And I can put transactions with either POs or bills against the budget and giving a proper overview. Benefits will be more about what will the project provide. And going back to the project, I've got the overview. One of the other dashboards, and I can create those dashboards myself. I can have an overview of just my tasks owned by me or assigned to me, and that depends whether I want to have the view of it. Who creates the data? I can open the data, I can assign it to additional people, change the completeness state. And this is a different way of acting with the same tasks as we had within the project management. I can download the data, I can upload or link additional documents, and this is a widget-based action view. The advantage is this will also work properly well on tablets. Another capability of project management is not project manager, but project planning. It's a more simple functionality. I would say it's more based on ad hoc project management instead of top-down project management, which is with the project manager role. Simple dashboard, milestone tasks and risk assessment based on the tasks, and a burn down capability. So it gives an overview, and it's the ability to manage tasks, project related tasks, but more in a free manner. Project Planner is cloud available. If I look here to one of the tasks, import the boom, I see who is assigned. I can access the task and go over the specific details. Also here for this project, I see the different members, and I can add the content. The content is the demo B. By searching in the system, I can add additional existing content. This will go over the whole platform. And I select a specific revision, drag and drop to create a relation, and existing content is added. If I go then to my tasks, I again have an overview of what I have to do, what in progress and done. And I filter them to only show the ones that are assigned to me. I had the import boom arm from CATIA V5 activity. And just as with the project task you showed before, managing the task is an equal activity. I can complete it where needed, provide attachments or deliverables. And because it's 100%, it's switched to done. And in the project overview, it's now a great task because it's a completed task. So everyone still can see what is completed. And in my project dashboard, I see that one task out of the 12 is done. That was the project live demonstration. So we had the functional part of the presentation. So we come to the end, and I want to speak shortly about the implementation of what I call the brick project management on 3DEXPERIENCE platform. What we have seen today is part of the proposal, Start Small and Start Now. And it's a way to implement 3DEXPERIENCE on the cloud, where you start with the foundation and put on top options to move, as shown, to a full smart PLM supporting Industry 4.0, but also later on to have a complete business platform acting environment. The roles that I demonstrated were project manager, which is for, as mentioned, top-down. It's classic project management, and that was the one shown in the beginning of the demonstration. But also you can choose for project planner role, which is only available on the cloud, and it's a more bottom-up or ad hoc project planning. And which one to use differs a bit on your specific use case and the way how you are organized or want to organize in project management. From a quality perspective, you see more project management. From a proper organizing the work and having creative projects, Project Planner would be suit very well. Implementing this, we have the Ready for Cloud offer, where we start with the understanding of your needs. Actually, that's just the basic, which is always mandatory. And whether it's for the full platform or just a on-top functionality, the process would be the same. Through a workshop, we'll then demonstrate or access what the needs would be in combination with the potential solutions, and then we go to the steps where it will become alive. It's an implementation where we deploy the functionality, do the basic configuration, perform the training so it's known how the functionality works, followed by the step to demonstrate that the functionality fulfills actually the request and the use cases. And finally, with the deployment, we have to go live and can train and support all the project managers. And following this process, and depending the functionality, but within a 3 months period, definitely you'll have functionality deployed live on the platform. That's what I had to say about project management on the cloud. I hope I gave you a good first view on the possibilities on integrated project management in 3D Experience, where you have related deliverables and data created by designers and the capability of full change management, about which we'll speak next week. In case you have any questions, please don't hesitate. You can ask via the webinar bar, but also can email me directly or get in contact with your sales. I'll see if there are some questions already. One question I've got here is, would it be possible to manage a part catalog with a project? Creation of the part catalog as a deliverable, that should be an option. Managing the part catalog itself for access, I would not directly see the functionality of it, but it would be good maybe to have this in a detailed discussion later on. Are there any other questions? Okay. Then a short closing. I would like to conclude with the recorded and upcoming meetings. We had the Home and Office Enterprise collaboration, Designer CATIA V5, today's Project Manager, and for next week, Design and Engineering, with the focus on change management. You can still register for that. And I thank you for your participation and hope to see you soon, either for an in-depth presentation at your company or during the next upcoming webinar next Wednesday. Have a nice day and goodbye.